Paltrocast.
Where are you dialing in from today, Hannah?
I am here at home in Nashville, Tennessee.
Now, is it real Nashville or is it East Nashville, Murfreesboro? I mean, people say Nashville, but is it really Nashville these days?
We're East Nashvillians around here.
Smart.
So,
Well,
yeah, cool part of
so
town.
it was really great within the last week to hear the new song of yours, Witness, which is arguably your most personal song to date. And it's from the forthcoming album, The Prize. Now, ignorant question here, is The Prize actually done or is it still being tweaked a little bit?
No, the prize is in the can. This project has been quite the labor of love. But I think we wrapped recording. Gosh, when did we wrap recording? I know it was last year, and then it was mixed earlier this year, and then we started rolling things out with hide and seek, and then obviously now Witness is second up, and I'm just thrilled for everybody to hear and see what else is to come. The music is finished, but I will say the painting side of this whole project is still very much being worked on.
Cool. Was
Yeah.
the Witness or was the Witness song written on piano?
It wasn't. It was definitely a guitar song. I honestly write majority of my songs on guitar. Pianos are harder to put in your suitcase. But I translated it to piano mainly because I think it it kind of followed the heart of the song,
Mhm.
like it just the piano is for me that like rhythmically emotive thing. I mean, I like to change things up with the rhythm of my guitar as well, like I fancy myself a lead player, but I also really
Mhm.
love rhythm. Rhythm playing is it can be so dynamic, and you can throw so much in there. And so piano, that was kind of like I knew that this song had that kind of bouncier quality, and I think when I attempted playing it with like the guitar really being the driving instrument, it
Mhm.
really landed in that like blues rock realm to me, which I think my songwriting and my playing naturally is in that sphere, but I really felt like adding the piano to this kind of took it out of that just like blues rock element and kind of brought it into a little bit more of that, like, I don't know, like Tom Petty-esque, hopefully kind of feeling vibe sometimes. So we'll see.
Wa-
We'll see how everybody else thinks.
Was guitar your first instrument?
No, piano was my first instrument. Piano taught me a lot. I started playing when I was like 3 years old, and I picked up guitar when I was 8. So piano is really what gave me the foundation. And I played classical stuff, and the Beatles was they were my jam. I think I learned like 66 different Beatles songs or something crazy like that. My dad remembers that number. That's the only reason why I have that number. My dad's really proud of the Beatles catalog that I amassed as a young girl. So
Wow. Okay. So you mentioned playing guitar since you were 8. If I've done my research correctly, you started playing out when you were 9 or 10 years old. Now, when were you actually able to start soloing? And I've been playing guitar since I was a teenager. I still can't solo. I am at best a rhythm player, but
come
some people
on,
are
give
born.
yourself more credit. I'm sure you're great.
You were you
But
able to solo quickly?
I learned I was learning solos from day one. So I think soloing for me was like the fun part. I had done gymnastics growing up. I had done like all this stuff, and to me, lead playing was like the gymnastics of the fingers. It's like, wow, like you really have to practice that stuff. Like I really loved accomplishing things. I was always a goal setter as like a young kid, and so I think guitar solos were just this whole world because yeah, you can play this one guitar solo, but that doesn't mean you can play the rest of them, like it was just kind of this like ratcheting, is like climbing up the ladder, is kind of like one upping yourself constantly. So I really loved that side of playing guitar, and it was just like you could find a challenge around every single corner. And learning those classic rock Guitar solos is definitely what shaped my playing and what informed, um, me as a guitar player the most,
Mhm.
I think. And I was never really obsessed with one guitar player. It's not like I learned like all of Jimi Hendrix's songs. I didn't learn like all of Mike Campbell's riffs. Like I the beauty of having a classic rock band cover band at that age is that we were playing a really wide variety. So I was kind of taking inspiration from all different avenues, which is why I love the talk box and why I love like, pitch harmonics. I love all the weird shit. And I've kind of just added everything into my repertoire and pull it out when I feel like it's right.
With all the soloing, did you ever have a phase where you were playing too many notes, like a borderline shredding phase?
It's hilarious. I say this all the time, and I think I was technically a better guitar player when I was like 16, 17 years old.
Really?
Um, yeah, like if we're talking maybe, we're talking like technical, like I definitely was playing a lot faster back then. I think probably entering into not shredder category, I wouldn't say, but like, I was definitely fitting more in there. And then I really I think I started smoking weed, and I think my I think I started putting a little bit more thought and a little bit more feeling
Sure.
into the guitar solos. I really do think that kind of relaxed my playing, to be honest. Like I had never performed under any influence, and then at like 18 you move out and you start dating your drummer and you start smoking a bunch of weed. I really do think that my guitar playing kind of relaxed into itself a bit. And but you know what, it's fun to be able to play fast, and that's it's not really something I've worked at in a long time, but I think I'm itching to get those gears turning again, so we'll see.
Well, this is intended to be a compliment. A lot of people who are standout guitar players and also singer-songwriters, you could tell it was all about a guitar riff and the song is totally secondary. In your case, I think that the song comes first. It just so happens that you were an accomplished guitar player. Now, when you started out, did was it that the guitar was the most important thing and the song was number two, or has it always been about the song?
It's definitely always been about the song, and I think that's the heart of me as a songwriter, is that I am emoting number one. Like I have songbooks that I have that I started when I was 4 years old. Like I remember distinctly, we had this really long hallway in our house that I actually reference in a song on the new record, and intervention. And I remember running down that hallway when I would get in trouble, or if, I did something bad, or, I was upset. And my room was at the very end of the hallway, and my bed was in like the very back corner. So I would run down the hallway, I would jump onto my bed. And I would just like lay there with my like feet up on the wall, staring up at this mural that my mom had painted, which was actually a castle floating on a cloud.
Mhm.
And that is really what inspired that mural, is what inspired the album cover of The Prize. But I would just lay there and like make up songs, and I would just sing, and I was always singing. And it was about like, if I was upset, I was singing and I was just spewing out words.
Mhm.
Um and then harnessing that was pretty much what getting older has been. And so yeah, I thank you. I honestly, that is one of the coolest compliments, and that's a very, I think, um on par with what I'm trying to put out there kind of view. So thank you.
Well,
But yeah, songs first. I love songs.
not to throw him under the bus, I love Yngwie Malmsteen and all, but those are not songs. That's just shredding with a chorus tacked on. So obviously, your music is the
Which
exact.
serves its purpose, like there's totally room for that. And there's nothing like a shredding guitar player, just shredding the whole song, and the guitar riffs are, I love really guitar driven music.
Mhm.
Um but yeah, I definitely I think there's room for it all. I think I definitely want to write a few more guitar driven riff songs. I've got a few more of those in me, but yeah. Lyrics
So
are awesome.
it sounds like the performing and the playing is the easy part for you. And I say that because a lot of artists are very stage frighty. The onstage persona is nothing to do with who they are as real people. You come across as a very what you see is what you get kind of person.
Thank you. That's really my motto. I've always worn my heart on my sleeve. I've always probably overshared. I am very willing to lay it all out there. I think, that's definitely one of my qualities. And I think as an artist and as like a young child, I have absorbed so much energy in my life. And that's one of the coolest things about being a musician and getting to travel around the world. And I think I had a really like amazing jump start. Like, cause my career, like when I was younger, we were just playing on the street. We were playing at the restaurant. We were just
Yeah.
in the middle of it all. There was no separation when I got off the stage or got off the, carpet, like the square that we were playing in. And so from the time I was 9 all the way up until now, like I have full transparency basically with my fans after a show. I like to go in and hang out and get to know everybody and meet the girls that are playing guitar and all that kind of stuff. That's pretty much what keeps me going. But so many people have opened up and just poured their heart out to me or related to me after I get off stage. And, I take so much from those moments. And so, at this point in my life, I'm 26 years old and I have lived a lot and I have gone through some pretty bizarre, extreme, wild things. And I think my perspective has definitely evolved. And I'm
Mhm.
finding myself in this more like, I don't want you to make the same mistake. Like I'm like starting, I really am like in that like, oh fuck, I'm old now. I'm a woman. I feel like I'm
Oh
like
yeah,
ready to
you're
bestow
so
wisdom.
old. You're so old.
Yeah. I know. Everybody always has that same reaction, but I will say that there is a shift. Turning 25, I was like, oh shit, I'm an adult. But 26, it's like you're like kind of like when I started smoking weed and my guitar playing. I'm like starting to like lean back and relax a little bit into the idea of like a real adult body and brain and all that kind of stuff. So
Yeah,
it's
you're
a
the
trip
oldest
getting
young
older.
person on the planet. That's what we can get at.
Oh, that's Benjamin
Okay.
Button kind of shit right there.
Well, three quick questions and then I'll let you go. Hopefully these are easy ones. I'm hoping these are easy ones. First one, what are your endorsements?
Oh, orange amps. I've been using them since I was 9 years old. I've been playing a Rocker 30, so they are completely part of my package. And then Anderson guitars. Again, since I was 9 years old, I've been playing my Andersons through a Rocker 30,
Mm,
and also the other key component to my tone are my Keeley pedals. I play an array of I use a few different things and I change things up, but Keeley has always been fantastic to me. And um, Martin guitars also, I've been playing Martins since I was, I think I got my first one at 9 or 10, and i have been I've been set. I love that company and love those guitars. I can't wait to one day get my hands on like a rad vintage parlor.
got it.
Yeah.
Goals. Whenever the wife and I say we're gonna watch a show, we watch it, we're done in 3 days, and we go, what's next? Well, why not ask Hannah what we should be watching? Any recommendations?
Oh, show. I honestly I love The Crown on I think it's is that an HBO
Thought
one,
that
I
was a
think?
Hulu, but you might be right.
I think I don't I'm not sure. Oh, it's Netflix. I think it's Netflix.
I think
Um
you're right. There's so many shows involving monarchies and royal families. So I've never seen The Crown. You like it, huh?
Yeah, it's not like I'm not really like into the monarchy. I'm not really into like the queen, all that stuff. My grandmother, she was a huge, her and Queen Elizabeth were born in the same year, and so she always had a deep admiration. And so I watched it just out of kind of, that curiosity to be able to talk to my grandma about, Queen Elizabeth. And
Mhm.
I just really appreciated the storytelling, and it seemed I like learned a lot about history through it. And they just made learning about history like kind of fun. And I don't know, I really enjoyed that series. I don't know why.
Well, it's going on the list, but Hannah, thank you for your time. Thank you for the great art. Really looking forward to see the prize just sweep a lot of year-end polls and awards and top 10 critics choice things and all that. But in the meantime, looking forward to the next gig in New York, and keep up all the greatness out there.
Thank you so much. I'll see you soon.
Paltrocast.